Shall I tell him to come through?
Yeah.
Will you follow my leader, please?
As a young man, Cliff Rankin intended to join his mother's family's construction business. So he spent 2 years training to be an architect. Then came the Second World War. He served for 5 years, mostly in the Atlantic, escorting merchant navy vessels. I was lucky, he says. I didn't get sunk at all. Relatively speaking, we didn't see much action. The weather was the biggest bugbear. The ship was only 180 feet long, so you got slung about quite a bit. When pressed, Cliff admits that the ship did actually see some action. It managed to get 1 3/4 confirmed submarine kills. This odd number is possible because the way the Navy did things was to divide sinkings by the number of ships involved in the kill. If there were 4 ships, each one claimed 1/4 of the prize. After 5 years in the Navy, he left reluctantly. He would have preferred to stay, but his father was anxious for him to join the glass business. There was a big need for glass and glazing immediately after the Second World War, and his father asked him to give up both the Navy and the construction business he'd been training to join. I had a girlfriend at the time who wouldn't have wanted me to stay in the Navy, said Cliff. But I do like the sea, and I go to sea one way or another every year. In fact, this year I've been to sea twice. That girlfriend was his wife Beryl. In 1997 they celebrated their golden wedding anniversary. Cliff maintained his links with the Navy, joining the Royal Navy Reserve, but his full-time naval career ended in February 1946. He was needed to take over the reins from one of his grandfather's original partners, Mr. Green, who by then was in his mid-80s. At that time, the flat glass side of the business employed 4 people. Now it has 60. Cliff built the business to become a major force in the industry, thanks partly to his boundless knowledge and enthusiasm for glass. He's perhaps the most charismatic and knowledgeable man in the industry, said Peter Butler, former publisher of Glass Age, who's known Cliff for 20 years and regards him as a mentor. Whenever I wanted to know anything about glass, he's the man who comes up with the answers, said Peter. He's probably the most informed man in the country about glass. He's also a very determined character and a wonderful storyteller. When we were in Brazil in 1996, he caught a virus and was laid out, said Peter Butler. I didn't think he would make it to the lecture theatre. He did it without any notes at all. He talked for 1.5 hours and then sat down and didn't get up for the rest of the week. He has amazing guts. Peter says Cliff has done a lot for the industry because he's a natural salesman. Today, Rankin's is based in the middle of a railway viaduct and has 36,000 square feet of space, an impressive size of operation for a location close to the centre of London. Before the Second World War, it was based close to Farringdon Street, London, but the premises were bombed in 1941. Cliff's introduction to the glass business came at that Farringdon Street premises. As a 10-year-old, he used to go there on Saturday mornings and cut squares of glass for leaded lights. It was an extremely interesting period of my life, said Cliff. The factory used to do a certain amount of decorative work, stained glass and leaded lights. It also supplied glass to companies around the City of London. Every newspaper in Fleet Street used to be our customers until after the war. I have seen the dramatic development in the use of glass in fenestration. Glass was there to let the light in and keep the weather out when I came into the business properly in 1946. Look at all the innovations there have been since then. Fire resistance, all the laminates. There's something new going on all the time, which our company has been very much in the forefront of. We were the first to produce diffused reflection glass. I only wish I'd patented it because I would be an extremely rich man now. Rankin's has specialised in low reflective glass, covering paintings and museum exhibits without causing distortion to the view. But the company is much more than just a producer of that kind of glass. If a product can be made in glass, Rankin says it can do it. The company offers a complete flat glass technical advisory service to designers and architects. Rankin's has its own fleet of glass-carrying vehicles and collects supplies direct from float glass works across Europe. The company has expanded from glass stock distribution and supply into specialist glazing, low reflective glass, furniture, cabinets and mirrors over the last 60 years. The company holds the royal warrant for supplying glass to members of the royal family and has also put a glass face on Big Ben in the House of Parliament. You didn't realise Big Ben had a glass face? Not surprising, really. In recent years, Rankins has specialised in providing low reflective glass to protect some of the country's most important museum collections and works of art. In 1995, he was the first person to be presented with a Lifetime's Achievement Award for services to the glass industry by the organisers of GlassX. At my age, my ambitions are to see the company progress and, in particular, to see a greater use of glass itself and all its properties. In the not very long future, houses won't need to have an electricity supply because the windows itself will supply the electricity to the house with solar energy. I think there's still a big future for the glass industry. Pilkington are the most marvellous innovators and Active will be a big money spinner for them and for everybody. The family tradition is being carried on by Cliff's son Paul, Rankin's production director and the fourth generation of Rankin in the business.